Following the arrest of the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, hours after President Bola Tinubu suspended him from office, he has hinted associates that he is willing to expose President Bola Tinubu over the 2019 Bullion van saga. Recall that on February 2022, photos emerged on social media of two Bullion vans entering Mr. Tinubu's property in Lagos. The former governor, who is now the president of Nigeria, is a top leader of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). He played influential roles in the then President Muhammadu Buhari's election and re-election in 2015 and 2019, respectively. Mr. President Bola Tinubu's action was widely deemed as violating Nigerians' anti-money laundering laws. Mr. Tinubu later admitted the Bullion van saga, and he admitted that the Bullion vans were conveying money to his house, but defended his action, saying he did nothing wrong because he was not a government official. Several months after the incident, the EFCC refused to probe the case despite mounting calls from Nigerians and civil society organizations. The EFCC said on Twitter that it failed to act because there was no petition. The agency dared a social media activist, Segun Awosoya, to send a petition against Mr. Tinubu. In response to the challenge, political activist Deji, on October 25th, filed a formal petition demanding an investigation into the matter. The EFCC said that Bola Tinubu came about the Bullion van that drove into his home in February. Nigerians have mounted pressure on the Anti-Graft Office to open money laundering probe against Mr. Tinubu after the ruling party chieftain was seen on February 2022 receiving at least armored vehicles believed to be bearing cash. The development raised controversies because it came a day to the presidential election of February 2023. Mr. Tinubu is a senior leader of the ruling All Progressive Congress and a strong ally of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, who was seeking re-election as at the time. Critics said there was no doubt the vehicles were conveying cash to bribe voters, with especially since such trucks are used in Nigeria almost exclusively to convey cash by banks, government institutions, and cash in transit firm. Mr. Tinubu's action was widely deemed contrary to Nigerians' anti-money laundering laws, which placed a cap of $5 million, which is about $14,000 on cash handling by individuals. The former Lagos governor, now the president of Nigeria, admitted the next day that the Bullion van were conveying money to his house, but he defended his action as out of public's interest because he was not a government official. But the Anti-Graft Office has declined to comment on the matter, and there is no evidence that it is investigating about it. The first comments from the agency on the scandal came during a tweet which the agency found convenient an opening to circumvent explanations. It is a matter of principle by the EFCC not to discuss in public issues that borders around investigation, the agency says. During the hour-long chat organized by the TAP initiative in Abuja, an Abuja-based public policy think tank had asked whether or not the EFCC saw potential violation of the anti-money laundering regulations in Tinubu's conduct. The agency only confirmed that it had secured conviction over vote-buying offences, while several other investigations were ongoing around the same crimes. It was unclear whether acting chairman Ibrahim Magu took part in the tweet meet, but the Economic and Financial Crime Commission sources told news agencies that the responses of the agents came from a senior anti-graft officials. Contributors dismissed the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission explanation during the tweet meet, saying the agency was reluctant to investigate Mr. Tinubu because of his status as an ally of the then President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Martin Obono, the director of TAP Initiative, said the organization does not engage in partisan commentaries about its guest submission during a tweet meet, but the citizens have a right to challenge any replies they deem unsatisfactory. We have brought the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as a guest on our May 23 edition of Tweet Meets and asked questions that we believe we are in the public interest. Mr. Obono said, but if Nigerians found some of the responses insufficient, they can challenge them to move the conversation forward. It was the second time the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission would participate in the tweet meet, which TAP initiative introduced in 2018 to engage public officials for updates on their activities. Its first appearance came in November 2018, during which the agency similarly declined comments about Abdullahi Ganduje, the Kano State governor, who was caught on video receiving words of dollars in alleged bribes from public works contractors. We should recall that in February 2019, viral pictures on social media showed two Bullion vans being driven in Tinubu's Bullion residence in Lagos on the eve of the presidential election, as many people looked on just outside the residence. The All Progressive candidate, days after the said money in the van the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate, days after, said the money in the van was his and not ballot papers or money for vote buying as alleged by some Nigerians. Excuse me, is it my money or government money? So even if I have money to spend in my premises, what is your headache? He said. Excuse me, if I don't represent any agency of government and I have money to spend, if I have money, if I like, I give it to the people free of charge, as long as not to buy votes. So who are those watching my house and looking at Bullion vans? They must be mischief makers. They report falsehood. Their lies are numerous, and it's because they are jobless. So many Nigerians, including Deji, Adeyaju, and activists, had petitioned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, asking the agency to probe the matter. Speaking during an interview, the Lagos APC organizing secretary said the vans missed the address to have come there. On the matter of the Bullion van, I think that matter has been put to rest. There was no money in the Bullion van. The Bullion van that even missed the address to have come there. It wasn't on an election day. The Bullion van missed the address to have come there, he said. He said Tinubu joked when he admitted that the money in the vans was his, that the Bullion van missed its way there, and it was not invited by Asiwaju or anybody, he added.